all we need on this journey. Love is what we give when we receive, so keep it burning. Gift your soul and let it be. Soon you'll find your gift of legacy. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. Faith will keep you strong where you belong. Just believe it. Dreams to help you grow, to reap and sow, you receive it. So gift your soul and let it be. Soon you'll find your gift of legacy. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Merle, I'm going to have a problem later on. Do you know what my problem is?
What is your problem?
I'm going to be going to bed and that song is going to be bashing around my head.
Well, hopefully I'm not going to have a problem and you're going to be able to see and hear me this whole time with electricity just having gone in this huge storm.
Oh, goodness me, you got a storm there. Wow. Well, okay. We deal with things as it happens. We'll make it work. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the live Gift of Legacy overview presentation. We're going to jump straight in. We've just had the wonderful video, which has been recorded by a couple of our members. So brilliant stuff. I'm going to introduce you to Merle very quickly, and then she's going to do a bit of a chat, and I'm going to chat to you later. So I've had a privilege of knowing Merle for not that long, but it feels like a long time. There's such a great connection. That's one of the advantages of the community, is the people that you get to meet. It's like a bonus that they don't normally tell you. We must have a whole slide about the bonus of actually the like-minded people around the world that you meet. So Merle started her career as a high school teacher and counselor, moved over to corporate for many years, but for the last 25 years has been working as a life alignment therapist and teacher. And in 2014, added low-carb nutrition coaching to her practice. And she has since co-authored a book on the topic as well, Married to Des, with the son Heath is in matric. And Gift of Legacy just fits so beautifully into her life, her passion of helping others, of uplifting. And the combination of her corporate background, of her teaching, of her understanding in people and how people work, that synergy is just very powerful. It's also, Merle has very kindly donated a huge amount of her time to help with the whole support side of it as well. So you're dealing, and we got somebody very knowledgeable about Gift of Legacy that's going to be sharing with us. So I'm going to hand you over to Merle, and I'll be chatting to you a little bit later. Let's see if I can bring up this presentation in the meantime.
Thanks, Tim. And yes, it's amazing how we've got to know each other over the last little while, not just with GL, with all sorts of things. In fact, our online businesses, we've been working together. So for the past 15 years, Tim has built his part-time business on the side of his full-time career in hospitality, which gave him security to know how to fire his last boss over 4 years ago. Last year, Tim and his wife sold their family home. They downscaled and they've been traveling South Africa for the last year. I mean, they're living everybody's dream. I mean, who doesn't want to be able to travel? See all these amazing places. I mean, every time Tim is somewhere different and he takes these amazing pictures of words on coffee shop walls and all those sorts of things, it's just so inspirational. And I know that his next plan is obviously to travel abroad and not just in South Africa. He's also created a course entitled Coaching Dads Working in Hospitality to Find Their True Life Purpose Before 55. And he's found his passion sharing his knowledge through a lifestyle of adventure and travel to inspire others to create purpose. And I know that he really is inspiring dads and some moms, I think, too. And anybody who's wondering what they should be doing or if they're stuck in a job they don't like, Tim is their man. Tim is your man. And I know that because my amazing nutrition coaching partner's husband has been going on some of Tim's workshops, and I've been getting amazing feedback. So there we go. I've got an inside scoop. I'm not spying myself, but I do know. So I think I've now introduced Tim. Let's get going before I lose electricity completely. I hope I'm going to get through this with you all.
We'll make it work. Thank you very much. You should be able to see the slides now.
Absolutely, I can see them, Tim. So we're going to start off by talking about Gift of Legacy, which of course you know we love. It's a gifting activity creating abundance, and it's by invitation only. So if you're new to Gift of Legacy and you're on this call tonight, somebody special has invited you. Right, just before we get going, a disclaimer. So this presentation is for information sharing only. It's not to be construed as financial advice. Neither Tim or I or any of the presenters of Gift of Legacy are registered financial or tax advisors. The information given is only intended to give examples of what a participant may expect. Right, let's get going. So what is Gift of Legacy? It's a gifting activity supported by a unique algorithm that drives a sustainable movement of gifts between individuals globally. It's a new economic paradigm. It's replacing outdated traditional structures that no longer serve society. It's time to join together to thrive and not merely survive. So let's talk about gifting. So who is Gift of Legacy for? Do you believe in the principle of sowing and reaping? Do you believe if you give, you shall receive? Do you enjoy, and this is where life becomes very interesting because I can't read the rest. Oh my goodness.
It appears to be very dark. I'm not sure why.
I know. And I should know this off by heart, but I don't. Can you read it, Tim?
Well, we can talk about the principle of who would be interested in this? Why? What is the benefit of being part of the Gift of Legacy community? What does it mean to you?
For me, it's helping others succeed in life. I really enjoy helping others and blessing others and helping them change their reality. So perhaps what I should do is open a presentation on another screen. Okay, let's go on with it. Right, so what is it? It's a global gifting activity. There are no limitations of borders, and we have members in over 100 countries and growing. We are uplifting communities and ourselves, creating abundance and encouraging self-development. What are safety economics?
Appears there's a bit of a lag in the slides as well, so sorry.
I can see we freezing, there's a lag in the slides, and I hope everybody's hearing us. All right, so sacred economics. Gifting has been used around the world for centuries, but traces back to the 1960s in modern culture. It's 100% legal and has been off the mainstream system for decades. In Africa, we call it the Ubuntu culture. It's communities helping one another. We're blessing millions, giving hope, education, and abundance globally, redistributing wealth into the hands of many. To date, more than $40 million has already been gifted among our GL members. I mean, can you imagine? $40 million. Can't even comprehend how much that is.
It's amazing.
It's decentralized, so there's no company, institution, broker, or trader. GL is simply an interactive website that manages the movement of boards in our gifting activity. All you need is a computer, smartphone, and an internet connection. WhatsApp and Telegram is essential. I mean, I met with somebody today and she couldn't believe that you didn't have to give some sort of payment to the platform, that it was completely peer-to-peer. So I think that is what is so amazing. She just couldn't get her head around the fact that nothing actually went onto a platform. She kept on asking about the platform. She keeps saying, no, there isn't a platform. So that's what's so special about GL, or Gifted Legacy. It's peer-to-peer, person-to-person. Gifts get paid directly to you. No third party is controlling any money. No tokens are held on any platform. So it's 100% risk-free. It's perpetual. It's ongoing, non-stop, and passive, occurring repeatedly, sustainably, and frequently, over and over and over for generations to come. Gifted Legacy is more than just a gifting activity. We help each other grow and succeed while supporting each other and uplifting one another. You gift from your heart, share the love, guide your team, become the legend, build your legacy. We're a community with the same vision. We want to change lives.
There's a lot of information. Thank you, Mel. There's a lot of information for people who are seeing this for the first time. I remember when I first saw it, it was very confusing because it was like nothing I'd seen before. And when I first saw gifting economies at the beginning of last year, I've already been working in online businesses for over 6 years and full-time for 4. So I thought I understood and had a good overview and perspective in how investment structures, cryptocurrencies, online platforms, network marketing, all these things. And then I come across this and it blew me away because it was completely out of the norm and very, very different. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking, I didn't quite get all of that, you're in the right place. That's absolutely perfect because you're directly aligned to how I felt when I first saw it. But here's what I knew, that this solved a number of problems that I'd experienced in 4 years at that point. Okay, 2016, the first time on online platforms. I'd experienced many, many issues, and perhaps you know somebody or you've been unfortunate to have lost money in a Ponzi scheme online or a pyramid or a crypto investment or something where a business partner ran off with your money. And there's so many schemes and scams and issues which have ballooned ever since the whole COVID crisis, with people just trying to make ends meet, that you question and you go, but I've got to be very careful. Yes, I would agree with you. But when there's a number of golden nuggets, that's what I call them, golden nuggets, where the gifting economy and gift of legacy resolves the issues for not losing money. It's not an investment. It's not network marketing. It's not a business. It sits in a very unique category, and that caught my attention. So as I go through the slides and we start talking about numbers, let's see if you believe it's worthwhile your risk. And I'll tell you what the risk is right at the very beginning. Whether it's worthwhile your risk in actually doing this. Because these were exact questions that I had when I first started. So you'll see on the screen here in front, we're going to follow that yellow circle U. I'm not sure if you can see clearly the wording there, but I'll just mention a couple of the important words for you. The first is $100. $100 is your risk. If you want to look at it from a business perspective, that's what you're putting in. That's the only time that you ever put money in. And as Mil said, you're not even putting it on the platform. That goes directly to another human being, another person peer-to-peer. There are 4 boards that you're going to work your way through. Each of them has got 4 levels, and I'll explain them as we're going through it. $100, $400, $1,600, and $5,000. But you're not taking the money out of your pocket. The money is recycled within the system. And this is where the gifting economy becomes very powerful. There's 2 big numbers on that screen, which I'm not going to read to you now. I'm going to show you how the numbers work. I'm not going to tell you about it, so then you can see whether you're able to do this or not. So where do you begin? $100 is what you gift to another person, potentially somebody you don't even know, likely in one of 107 different countries around the world. And that's what's so powerful about this. We're an international community. How do you send the money? Well, one of the things you'll learn as you're going, and it's important, you're going to learn new skills, is how to use airtime or PayPal or World Remit or Revolut or cryptocurrencies. In other words, there's multiple ways where we'll help teach you. We've got training programs where you'll send money legally, cheaply, efficiently around the world. And that's what's so magic. There's a couple of points here before I go on. Number one, we use US dollars as the base currency. The reason for that is everybody around the world typically knows what their currency is against the dollar. So if you're sending money internally, like in South Africa, if I'm gifting Merle $100, I'm going to work out what the exchange rate is today, and that's the amount. So she is receiving the equivalent of $100, and me as the gifter, I cover the transfer fees as well. So that's the first thing that is very important here, is that US dollars is the base currency, and you'll send it based upon the value of that currency against the US dollar at the time, or your currency. So this is what a board looks like. You're going to enter with $100 and you're going to exit with $800. Now, somebody on the call is looking at this and going, it's one of those pyramid scheme things. Well, it depends what your definition of pyramid schemey things is. If it means that you join and you can also get 800 and help everybody else to do it, well, it is one of those. But fortunately, it's not. And I'll explain to you why. You start at the bottom, as everybody does. When you get to the top, you go back to the bottom again. So there is nobody who's sitting there before you, who's been around longer than you, who is actually just breaking the cream off the top. It doesn't work like that. This is how the boards work. So when you first join, you join as a gifter. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, there's a gifter, then a builder, guide, and a legend position in the center. And the right-hand side is mirror of it. You'll notice that there's 8 gifting positions, 4 builder and 2 guides. And what's the objective? The objective is to move from a gifter, when the board fills up, to move to the next level. And once that happens, there we go, you've got 8. Now what happens? The board splits. So once all 8 gifters come in, now this is just an example. They won't, very unlikely to all come in exactly the right numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them can come in haphazardly. But once that happens, the board splits because the legend has received the $800. They now move off and they're going now onto the next board, which I'll explain to you shortly. What happens when that happens? You move from gifter to builder. What do you do as a builder? This is the second thing which you need to do. The first is gift $100 to the legend, unconditional gift. The second is speak to people. Like anything in the world, it requires people. So if somebody ever says, you don't have to introduce people, you don't have to network. Well, yes, you don't have to network, but you have to talk to people. Everything requires people. But here's the key thing here. Only 2. That's all. If you want more, perfect. But otherwise, 2 people. It's called a 2x2. So you're going to join and you're going to introduce your friends A and B, as you can see on the slide. The other builders will bring in their 2. What happens after this? The board splits again. So now you move to guide. You're very effective. Now, let's say that you've caught this. You go, this is amazing, just like I did when I first saw it. This is amazing. I introduce my 2. I help them introduce their 2. So A introduces C and D. B introduces E and F. As simple as that. Now, when this happens, it's magical because your side on the left there, you'll see is full. Perhaps the people on the other side are just going a little bit slower. They haven't got all of the positions filled yet. But you don't have to wait for them because you've done your part within the community. You've brought in your 2. You've helped them educate and teach to bring in their 2 so it can be easily duplicatable. Here's the system. This is the system we're showing you. Follow the system. You teach others to follow the system. You teach them that they must teach others to follow the system, not to create their own one and reinvent the wheel and say the wheel doesn't work best when it's round and it cycles and it goes round and round. The wheel works best when it's square and it's got edges and corners and a bit missing. No, it doesn't work that way. This is the set system. We follow the system. If there was another system that worked quicker, more efficiently, more effectively, more consistently for the long term, Merle and I would be telling you about that system. So we don't need to go anywhere else, but follow the system. What happens here? You move to the center. Now you're a legend. It's your turn to receive 8 $100 gifts. How powerful is that? Your 2 guides, your 2 people that you brought in as gifters who moved to builder, became guides, now either side of you. They're going to do what you've just done. And why do they want to do this efficiently? Because they also want to receive gifts in abundance in the center. Now, it took me 4 days to do this. Day 1, I put in $100. By day 4, I was a legend and was receiving $800 because I helped my 2 bring in their 2, bring in their 2, bring in their 2. That is a little bit unusual, but I know systems and I know procedures, and I had many people who followed me. So it may take you a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months. There's no timeline on it. The only time is you. But how quickly do you want results? That you can determine. What happens next is quite amazing because now this board is full. Let me go back that one. You see how the board's full. All those positions are done. So this board is complete. It's going to then close. You're going to go to the bottom of 2 new boards. Well, not 2 new boards. They're new for you, but they exist already. One of them is you're going to go to the bottom of that bronze board where you started, and you'll notice that you've joined now on the right-hand side because the system, the algorithm that Mel mentioned very cleverly says, wait, that one's going a bit slower. Let's help them. So you'll go back into your what's called a perpetual position on that same board to help fill it quicker. And that is absolutely powerful. And one reason why you want a lineage, you want to help your 2 by 2 by 2 because it's going to help you move through. The next thing that happens is you're going to move to the following board, which is the silver board, which is $400. So here's how the money works on this slide. You can see there. You've gifted $100 initially. You've received $800. $400 of that is not yours. You are the champion to it. You're holding on to it because now you're going to take $400 of that $800 and gift it on to somebody else to get to the next board. $100 of that, of the $800, $100 of it, you're going to hold back to get back onto another $100 board so you can get that ongoing income, the perpetual. That's what we want. First objective, get through all 4 boards. Next one, be on all of the perpetual positions. Have a position on every single board so you can keep being gifted in abundance ongoing. This leaves you $300 in your pocket. $100 in, $500 expense, $300 in your pocket. That leaves you 200% return. I'm a business guy. I love numbers. This slide, I said, I don't need to see anything else. I don't understand it, but I like the numbers. I'm in. And I joined right here. Because here's the thing that I know from many, many years and seeing and being involved in, I don't know how many, I don't want to count platforms, is the only way you find out how to do this is by getting involved. It's as simple as that. There's no questions. You just say, where do I sign? And you find out as you're going. That's how you learn. This is the perpetual income, which is quite phenomenal. You only are on one board at a time. So once you're onto a perpetual position on another $100 board, so you've gone off your first one, you go onto another, back onto another one, as I showed you on the slide. When you go to legend on that position, because on that board, because you're already on the $400 board, you're keeping now $700. You're only putting $100 back onto another perpetual position repeatedly. So this time you're keeping $700 in your pocket. Now we're going to start talking about a little bit more money because $300 is nice. $700 is okay, but it's not going to really change your life. So you want to carry on following the system. $400 is what you gift the legend on the next board. And it's very simple. This is where the simplicity of GL is so amazing. Keep it simple. All the system does is introduce you to the legend. The legend can see who the new gifter is. You chat to each other, you agree on how the gift is going to be given, and you gift the legend. That's the process on the board. It's so simple. We've got added things like board chat where you can talk to everybody on the board and motivate each other and chat and get to know who they are. So when you're getting your multiples of income coming in, you know who you're going to go and visit around the world. Brilliant stuff. So $400 in, very simple. The way that you move to the legend position is you're helping your people on the $100 board move through. They're going to help you move through nice and efficiently on the silver till your legend receive $3,200. This is how the money works. It's not all your money, $3,200. Now it starts getting exciting. $1,600 you're putting on to get to the next board. $400 to get onto the perpetual position on another $400 board. This leaves you $1,200 in your pocket. You're starting to get excited. I can't see the chats. I wish I had real life people. I like talking to real life people. So I'm going to say, yes, you're excited. But what does $2,800 mean to you? Does that start making a difference? See, this is what happens now on the perpetual position. on a $400 board because you're not gifting $1,600 on. Quite amazing. Let's go on to the following board. $1,600, leaving you $12,800 when you're the legend on here. How quickly can you move through? Depends on how much work you've done initially to teach you or to bring into. And by this stage, because you've just seen that how much money there is, how powerful it is, how it changes communities and other people's lives, you don't stop and you bring in 4, 6, 8, 12. Don't limit yourself. Your limitation is only controlled by your brain. Now, here's a question for you. You see that number on the screen, $6,200. When I first saw this, as I said, I didn't understand how it worked entirely. It was very unique to me and it was so simple. I actually tried to make it complicated because that's just by my nature. But when I stopped doing that, and you've written down, perhaps you've got a question if you're here for the first time or even the second time, you think, how does this work? How does that work? And you haven't quite jumped in here. I would like you to cross out take a piece of paper and throw it away. Cross out every single question that you've written down and write the following. This is the only question which I personally believe, with all my years of experience, with being around gifting economies, with having been gifted multiples and also gifted other people around the world multiples. There's only one question. Write this down. What do I need to do today to have $6,200 extra by Christmas in my bank account? I'll repeat. What do I need to do today to get $6,200 extra in my bank account by Christmas? That's the only question you go back to ask the person who invited you. Can you do this by Christmas? I don't know. Is it possible? Sure. I don't know if you can do it, but why don't you find out? Here's what happens next. $5,000 of that money, that $12,800 gifter, goes to the platinum board. This is the last final board. And $1,600 to get back onto the gold board, leaving you $6,200 in your pocket. And when you're on the perpetual cycle, just have a look at that number, 11,200. Wow, that starts making a difference. This is where you get gift of legacy, insomnia, because now you're lying awake at night and you're thinking, how do I spend all this money? You're not lying awake at night going, where do I get all my money? Change your mindset. Brilliant stuff. How would $35,000, would that make a difference in your life? In South Africa, that's a phenomenal amount of money. You can go buy a 2-bedroom house in some areas for that amount of money. It's wow. Because now this is the final board. Every cycle on here is 5,000 back on, so it's always going to be $35,000 that you're keeping in your pocket. This is a slide that I'd recommend you take a screenshot of, as this shows the perpetual income in all the boards. So it's very difficult to determine how much gifting you're going to be receiving because each board cycles independently. But the harder you work, the faster you're going to move. The more people that you help come in and help them follow and help them, just like anything in life, you're helping other people. That means you're going to move through quicker, and that's going to help them move through quicker as well. This is where the total numbers come from. 42,700 is the amount that you receive after you've been through the cycles on the first time. And 49,700 is the number on all 4 boards after being on perpetual boards or perpetual positions on all the boards. But the number's understated because you move through different cycles. So it's at different timelines, but it's actually more. But let's just take that number, think about that number for a little bit, and ask yourself, is it worth $100 in, introducing 2 like-minded people, following a set system to get that type of additional income on top of what you're doing already? And if it isn't, before I hand you back over to my wonderful co-host, if it isn't enough and you're not happy with this, tomorrow, go to your boss, grab him from behind the desk, give your boss a big hug, and you say, boss man, yesterday I had the opportunity for financial freedom and I chose you instead. And carry on with your life. Merle, back over to you. What can you tell us?
Absolutely, Tim. I mean, who wants to go back to their boss and say, I was offered the opportunity for financial freedom, but I'm coming back to slog it out for however many more years and I'm never going to get ahead. It's very exciting for all of us to be on the boards. So what are the activity guidelines? In the first cycle, we gift 100 to the legend of the board on registering. We invite 2 like-minded, like-hearted people to journey with you and help our 2 invitees to do the same. That's all we've got to do. It's really simple. 2 by 2 by 2. You know, it's not even big numbers. Perpetual. So once you've completed your first cycle, you'll be auto-joined to enter your higher board first. So when you finish bronze, you're going to be put onto your silver board. Only when you've gifted onto your silver and being confirmed as a gifter can you then auto-join back onto the bronze. So this is stopping people jumping ahead and not coming back on, you know, on the previous boards. Not that I would know why anybody wouldn't want to be on every board at the same time. I mean, imagine when you're going around all four and you're getting gifts all the time, it's going to be just wonderful. I mean, getting gifts is the most amazing feeling. So once you've been confirmed as a gifter, you'll be auto-joined, as we said, it's perpetual position. Gift the legend within 24 hours of joining a new board. Perpetual positions ensures the integrity and sustainability of GL. It's important. You cannot advance from the bronze board without inviting your 2 confirmed gifters. So don't get to the end of being a legend on bronze and you've only got 1 gifter, because then you can't go to silver. And that would be such a pity, because who just wants to stop at bronze? And then you're going to be sidelined while you bring in another person. Then only will you be able to carry on. And we don't want that to happen. You want the flow. Right, so why Gift of Legacy? What makes it unique? First of all, it's user-friendly. You'll have a unique personal profile, which is informative and easy to use, and everything you need to succeed will be at your fingertips. It's a fail-safe system. So board splitting assists in leaving nobody behind thanks to our perpetual cycles. We've got an innovative algorithm. This groundbreaking algorithm takes care of the new participants while rewarding the existing participants. There's cross-pollination, so the first cycle and perpetual boards connect to the global GL gifting pool. We have a global community. Our community comprises of people from different countries and cultures with various methods of communication. And that's something that we all have to be patient with. We need to look at Google Translate or one of the translate functions, and we have to make sure that we're communicating with people in a language that they understand. I'm a legend on a gold board, and I have gifters from Peru. So they're all Spanish. And so we're busy I've become very good at communicating in Spanish. And it's interesting how people have given me voice messages because they've obviously thought that I know what they're talking about. I have no clue. So thank you, George. I've sent George some voice messages so that he can translate what they're telling me. It's quite interesting. We're not limited to 2 invitees. Each profile must have the minimum of 2 invitees in order to progress through the boards, although there's no limit to the amount of people you can invite to GL. There's a community support team. So available at giftoflegacyglobal.com. At the top of your personal info, there's a support button. We recommend checking through the academy, though, for everything you need to know about GL. Everything is in the academy, from the link tree to the doodlies, to Tim's 22-minute presentation, to the 7-minute presentation. It's all there for you. So at a click of a button, you can find it really easily. You don't have to go back through your old WhatsApps. You don't have to save it. It's all there for you. Then there's fast track and board splitting. So GL has multiple strategies to assist you to move ahead faster should you wish. And there's in-depth explanations on training videos about how you can actually use these strategies. So what is fast track? So if you want to fast track, once you're on your bronze board, your 2 invitees have been confirmed. If you don't need any more, only those 2, and if you have your $400 ready, you can progress to silver. So you could still be a builder on your bronze board, but you can move ahead to silver. Once you're confirmed on silver, if you have the funds and you think, oh, I'm going to move ahead, and now we've got the little peek feature so we can have a look to see where we're going to land, you can choose to go on to gold, and you're going to gift your $1,600. Once you're confirmed on gold, if you choose, you could jump ahead to platinum. And then you're going to be gifting your $5,000 on platinum. Again, you don't need any more than your 2 invitees. Now, important, we don't promote on social media. We don't want to fill spaces, so all your invitees need to duplicate the system so that the board maintains momentum. So you don't want to add your 2-year-old onto the board unless you are absolutely sure that you can bring in 2 people to put under your 2-year-old. So if you want to build a position for one of your children, that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to do that, but you must know that you are going to need 2 people for every position that you create. So don't create a position just to make a board go forward, because you're going to slow down everybody. Be the messenger and not the message. So don't try and explain GL at first. Invite people to the Zooms to allow our presenters to explain the system for you. Don't try to sell it to anybody. Okay, it's not a product. It's a gifting economy, which is very special and very, and very dear to all of us. And you want people to understand what it's actually all about. Attend regular live presentations and watch the recordings. Same message with different presenters, different angles. So you might not like how I present, but you might love Tim. You might think Adela's wonderful. Melissa, a lot of the presenters are actually in the chat tonight, and they are commenting. I can see the comments, but for some reason I can't comment on the public chat. I don't think Tim can either. Maybe he can. But it's amazing. There's so many of us. So just see who it is that you resonate with. And then there's extensive training available. And trained always beats untrained. And I think that's where it's important that we say that tomorrow night, the core are going to be on, and they're going to be talking about all the changes in Gift of Legacy, because they're the most amazing changes over the last, I don't know how many months, that have made Gift of Legacy even better. So they're going to be talking about that and answering questions tomorrow night. So I suggest that everybody be on that call. So participate in your own rescue. It's important to understand that there are no guarantees. The success or failure of any participant will depend on your willingness to participate and follow the guidelines of Gift of Legacy. It remains an individual participant's responsibility to ensure compliance with the tax laws in your country. So Gift of Legacy is a decentralized platform with no third-party affiliations, ownership, or partnership. If you join Gift of Legacy via a third party or part of a package, you do so at your own risk. Gift of Legacy is 100% peer-to-peer, and no funds ever get paid to a platform. Gifts are always given to a Gift of Legacy participant and only gifted to the legend when landing on their board.
Brilliant. We've got love heart positions here. So love heart is something we all want to give back and help other people. And I know Merle's exactly like that as well. We work in our communities. We want to help charities. We want to help individual people, soup kitchens, churches, animal welfare organizations. But they don't really have the ability to A, put $100 in to gift to somebody, and B, also go and bring in 2 people. So this is where the love heart positions have been created, that once you are a confirmed gifter and you've brought in your 2 people, you can apply to bring in a charity. You will then sponsor that charity. So you would put in the $100 on their behalf. But the 2 people that's required for that position will be brought in by other love heart positions that others will bring in. So it becomes phenomenal that you can actually help organizations to start getting gifts and receiving gifts as well. In days and economies like we are now, people in any type of charity organization are struggling tremendously with cash flow. So to help others in order to gain in who don't have the means to be able to do it is a brilliant benefit. And you'll see once you're registered on the screen, you can see their love heart. You click on it. You can even see underneath a button called donate. That's to the GGM movement, which is the organization, the nonprofit, which oversees and runs the whole of Gift of Legacy and oversees love heart position. So when you're making your gifts on your gold and your platinum boards, give to the system so that it can be maintained, run efficiently for generations to come. Very powerful stuff, and you can see all that information and lots more once you're actually joined. How are we doing? Can you see the slide?
I can see the slide, absolutely. So it's important to know that we now only have presentations 3 nights a week. So Monday is Motivation Monday. Tuesday, which is tonight, is the presentation. Wednesday, orientation workshop, which tomorrow night is going to talk about all the questions and all the changes. And then use Thursdays and Fridays to work on meeting new people and creative ways for sharing GL. We know no longer in lockdown, everything doesn't happen it doesn't have to be on Zoom anymore. We can actually go out and meet real live people. And that's my absolute passion. The more people I can meet, the better. Afrikaans Zooms, we have different languages. Afrikaans on Tuesday and Thursday. Zulu, we haven't had any Zulus for a while. They're on Thursday, but Charles has been on radio and he's been on all sorts of things because of the drama in Durban If you don't know about it, we had floods earlier in the year, and our E. coli levels have been high, and there'll be all sorts of things linked to lifeguards. And Charles has been on the radio a couple of times a week, every week actually lately, which is why he hasn't been presenting. We're going to get him back, I'm sure. Then Wednesday and Thursday, there's Asia Pacific. There's Spanish on weekdays at 9 p.m. There's German on Mondays. Then there's Finnish, Italian, Portuguese, and French, plus many more coming. Just need to connect with the Telegram groups for those languages, and you'll be able to see when they are. Okay. Now, the official English Telegram groups, there are other official groups for different languages, are the Gift of Legacy Official Community, the Official Info Only, and the Gift of Legacy Testimonials. And if you have a look there, you can see what the logos look like for those three groups. Those are the only English official groups. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to know more, contact the person who invited you to this presentation. Then I think, Tim, we've got time for questions, don't we?
Oh, brilliant. Yes, we do. So thank you very much. It's fantastic. A lot of information shared there. Watch it on YouTube. That YouTube channel is phenomenal amounts of informative information on there that, wow, it's you could take that information and apply most of it to your life as well. So, Mel, wonderful chatting with you. Let's see if I can, I'm just going to remove that. So we are here. And yes, so now because we're on StreamYard and everybody's listening to us on YouTube, you would have to then type in your question on the live chat. I think that's how it's going to work because we can't hear people, can we? Technology changes. So if you have anything, I've been seeing there's a couple of people and there's people actually commenting that on a perpetual and silver board headed for legend on gold, says Jeannie, thank you, gifting community. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. We've got Blanca from Las Vegas, Nevada. You can read yourself on the chats and see where people are actually from that we're around the world. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. They're welcome to pop it in the chat.
So we can see everything that they're commenting.
I think our guest, our guest might have a question. Foxy Lady, I saw that she had a finger pointing.
Foxy Lady got a question. Wonderful. All right. Let's see if we can
unmute you.
There we go. I've worked this out. Hello, Foxy Lady. You should be able to.
Hello. You hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I wonder because they've been complaining, and I've been looking at that quite close. And we go on our board and chat, and all of a sudden you get out of there and you come back after a while, and it says it was 2 days, 3 days, 3 weeks. How come we just say something and it's way off? So I said I'm gonna ask the question too.
All right, that's a great question. Thanks, Foxy Lady. So your line is quite crackly. Merle, maybe you can take this one. The question is around the board chat, that when you put a chat on there, you go off, and when you come back, it gives a different timeline to when you were on there last.
Absolutely. So we've known since the beginning that there was an issue with it. But as the core explained, the cost in changing it is going to be huge. So they suggested that every time you make a comment, you put the date. That way you'll know when you commented. So, for example, yesterday was Gift of Legacy's 9th birthday. So on all the boards that I'm on, I put comments saying that and talking about tomorrow night's chat, but I put that it's the 10th of the 10th.
Okay.
So that people know exactly when it is. So that is the solution for now.
Okay, I'll try to get the gang to do that.
I don't know.
You can come back and it can show you that it's 5 days ago, and you know that you did it this morning and logged out and came back.
Yeah. I don't know if it hasn't got any massive implications. It's wonderful to chat, and you'll see I can pick up because we're on our boards frequently and chatting frequently, we get to understand and know. So that I don't even look at the date, to be honest. But Merle, doesn't have an implication whether the date is right or wrong. It's more our own needs that we want.
The deal is they don't want to be taken off because they said we go, and then they say we get taken off. That's not good.
I don't think
you're going to lose me any minute because I can hear my batteries going flat.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Foxy Lady, I have a feeling the computer system's not looking at the date stamp on the chat. They know from when you log in.
But you must log in and log out again. Because
Log
if
in,
you
log
don't
out.
log out, people who stay logged in all the time, it doesn't show that they're logging in.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But log in, log out. So that's not
Log
an
in,
issue.
log
Thanks.
out.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for-
much.
Okay.
Thank
The
you.
other thing that Adele's saying, can we explain the peak function? So there's a new peak function, and this is to stop people landing on boards and then asking to be removed because they don't have the funds to gift. So it's a wonderful new function. So when you click on peak, you have to confirm that you know that once you've clicked on peak, if you then choose to stay, you need to have the funds because people are still getting it wrong. So you can peak at the higher board. So for example, if you're on the gold board, you can peak at platinum. If you know who you're following, you can see exactly where you're going to land. If you don't, you can see the board. You can see how many people are on the board. And then if you have the funds, you can choose to stay. So once you've peaked, you either log out or you choose to stay, in which case, and there's Melissa saying, peak allows you to have a peak at the higher boards ahead of you. So it's like, when you're sneaking around corners when you were little to see what the grown-ups were doing. Well, now you are, sneaking onto the next board. So it's a lovely feature.
The team come up with some phenomenal little things to make our lives just even easier than it was already. Really, I feel like we're being spoon-fed a beautiful, simple system and just these added bonuses. But if you're on the call and you got some more detail and you want more detail about this, then that's what tomorrow night's for. You can definitely get far more of that there. If we've got anything else on here, we've got when you log in and log out. So this is based upon to show that you're still active member. When you log in and you log out again, it resets the timer for your position or for your membership or registration, whatever, to 30 days. So, and for more of that, you'll get that on the tomorrow night and also on the Academy. All the information's there on the YouTube. Watch those videos. And I've asked Merle this before. I'm not going to ask her again now because I know the answer. The question is, how many questions that go through to support could be answered by just reading the information on the Academy? And the answer is 99% of them. Mm-hmm. Spend your time in educating yourself. And I know there's some teams who actually, in the point of registering a new person coming in, won't let them register until they've actually looked at the Academy to know where all the information is, because that's how you duplicate a very simple system. Don't be the magic and have to answer it or wait for the support to answer. They're volunteers. Get the information yourself. Teach the people that you're bringing in where the information is so they can educate themselves. Isn't that the power? Isn't that what we want? We don't want to be spoon-fed. We're not employees. So use that. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant there for you. And if you haven't looked at it, just spend 5 minutes looking at it. And I say 5 minutes because an hour later, you'll still be looking at it because there's so much. Just get on there and have a look. You'll see. There's a lot of there. Link trees on there. Great. Are we, anything else coming through? We got thank yous. Yay. Mel, thank you for your...
Yes, I've stayed all the way. And I'm sure that a lot of people who from Durban who here have lost power because I'm reading that there's big substations that have exploded.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa has been taking a real hammering for the last few years. It's about time it changed around for you guys. It's a cycle. It'll be somebody else's turn soon. Hang in there. I know you do a lot for the community, and they appreciate it as well. So I'm going to say thank you all very much. Tomorrow evening, be there online. You want to listen to the core. You'll hear their hearts. You'll feel their energy, and you'll know that you're in the right place. So I'm going to say thank you very much. As always, Mel, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be sharing the screen with you. And
thanks, Tim. It's always nice to present with you.
Good night all. Thank you very much, Candace, for helping us jump on and know what's going on. And apologies for some of the slides not being clear. We'll make sure that's all sorted out for next week. Not quite sure why it happened, but we'll fix it at the same time. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Night.